Yeah, we had a couple of actually projects around digitizing processes lately and incorporating new technologies. One of them was, yeah, heavily around data and improving the current process based on the data that you receive. And it was called Well Zero. So that's a project with a few end users like BMW, O'Rourke in the construction industry, and Subsea7 in oil and gas. All of them pretty much have got a few manual processes and they'd like to automate it for different reasons. So this is quite interesting to see that the same approach and the same solution brings different industries different values, and because their objectives are quite variable. But the challenge is still the same across all of them. It was collecting meaningful data. First was connecting to something, and this is difficult sometimes depending on the machines that you need to connect to. A lot of machine providers lock down their equipment, so it's impossible to get anything useful out of it. Even if you do something, there is very little you can do with that data. So it's important to start as a supply chain being more open about sharing data and giving value to others as well as yourself within that ecosystem, because it's all relative. Another issue we had was communication standards. I think I attended a conference the other day. They mentioned about 200 different standards in manufacturing. So you can imagine why things are going so slow and so difficult for any integrator or any solution provider to be able to provide offerings to cover all this range. So there is lack of continuity across different industries and even across different companies. Even if you work in the same industry, each organization has their own communication standards, their own data standards, and we need to have certain a common understanding, I think, with what needs to be the best practice. And there's a huge lack on that. And then finally, there's a little bit of, I guess, more thought and more research that needs to be done within the technical elements as well. So we looked at deploying AI by collecting data from the edge. The AI was based in the cloud for the training purposes, which means you need to upload loads of data continuously. Necessarily, you don't need all the data for your AI algorithm, but this is how it's structured from the machine. So you can't really break it down before you upload it. And uploading it one by one would cost a fortune, because this is a costing model of the cloud. You're being costed by an event. So whether you're sending one string of data or a whole batch of data is the same thing. It's just that element that you upload that counts. So that kind of makes it difficult to have real-time processing capability. Of course, once you have that sorted and you have the perfect algorithm, you can always deploy it on the edge, which saves you a lot of computing power as well, and it's a more sustainable option. But to get there, you obviously need to think about these architectural elements in the right way and know how your algorithms as well are working based on the data that you're collecting.